Hello everybody, this is Mamata Jenamani. Now we are live and I would like to answer all the queries that you have in mind. To start with, I have already got few queries from some of the students. The first one, in fact many of you do not have queries, I mean the whosoever has submitted this form. The first person who has certain query is Mr. Santosh. Hello Mr. Santosh. Now your query is, please refer one book that having all information of e-business. It is a very good nice suggestion to have one book, but unfortunately the book that I am referring, in fact I have told you in the very first class, are mostly from information systems area, which is the subject taken by management students mostly, and it lacks technical information, I mean the in depth, it lacks the in depth technical information. So, therefore, I will be referring some other books, but anyway whatever material I have referred, in most of the cases the material will be available in many of the standard books. For example, in case of when we talk about e-business infrastructure, which is basically your web and internet based infrastructure. So, that I have referred some, you can refer some standard computer network book for that. And when it comes to decision support models, those are little advanced and you cannot find those details in MIS kind of books. You refer my material, I think for this course it will be enough. Coming to second question, it is by Mr. Dhinkar. He is asking, what is the purpose of e-business? The purpose of e-business is to make the companies ICT enabled. In fact, the very first lecture that when we talked about it, it was about the opinion of Mr. Andy Grove of Intel chairman. Way back in that time he said that after some time all the businesses are supposed to be e-businesses, which means in fact now if you find out, almost all the businesses, they have their ICT interface with their customers, suppliers, and that way for all the stakeholders. So, the purpose of e-business, if you say, it is about reaching your stakeholders very fast, sharing information with your stakeholders, and in this process promoting your business. Now, come to the third question. It is Mr. Sato Bishakha Sunil. How to start e-business? Here I would like to clarify one idea. The idea behind e-business is, e-business you cannot think independent of any I mean it cannot be an independent kind of business. You have to have a business for which the ICT infrastructure, if you add, it becomes e-business. Now, if you are specifically thinking that e-business is equal to e-commerce, there is subtle difference that we have also discussed in the class. Your e-commerce is basically a subset of e-business where commercial activities are taken care of. By commercial activity we mean it is about buying and selling. So, if you would like to go for only e-commerce kind of business and the businesses which exist because of the internet, it is of course a part of e-business, but it is not the only business. For example, let us try to think, suppose you belong to some city, and in that city let us say think of a very mundane business. You think of starting a laundry. Okay. So, it is a city of many software professionals, and software professionals and those in their busy schedule, they would like to have some laundry, some facility, so that their clothes can be picked up from their home, they can be cleaned up and they can be sent back to their home. So, for this small business also, if you open one ICT interface and in that web interface you get the orders from the customers and you come to their house, physically take the items, then give it back, accept the payment online, then that becomes one e-business. So, it is there is nothing called starting a e-business. I mean, you have to have a business idea to have e-business, to make it e-business enabled. Next question is from Barshali. Okay, it is kind of question that it is not truly a question, probably she is trying to ask whether the course is useful for future. Look, this is a very generic course, generic in the sense picking up the ideas in any one of these the topics that has been covered here. It covers broad range of topic and you can develop your expertise in any one of this to have your future career. For example, if just the last question that we discussed, if you are starting any business, you will have overall idea about how to make it IT enabled. Second example, suppose you would like to pursue your career in web data analytics, where recommender system is your focus. In some later class, we are going to discuss, we are going to give a brief overview of what recommender system is and probably some small example. So, that picking up the ideas from there, you can proceed and you can pursue a career in recommender system by doing in-depth study in that area. Next question is from Keshinath. Okay. His question is, what need to be considered while buying or acquiring an already existing e-business? Once again I make stops clear here. E-business, e-business conceptually you cannot separate out from the corresponding brick and mortar business. So, if at all you are thinking of acquiring any organization which is already e-business enabled and along with that it also has some physical infrastructure and it has already some brick and mortar business idea, then you have to be the typical methods that is being adopted while acquiring another business you have to consider. Any other question? Hello Rajesh, your question is, what about digital marketing and its integration with e-business? When we talk about business, marketing is also a subsystem of any business. In fact, if you remember, we started discussing with Porter's value chain in the very I think while talking about supply chain or something, we started talking about Porter's value chain. In the Porter's value chain, sales and marketing is one integral part. So, every business that you can think about, marketing is basically an integral part. Now, let us talk about digital marketing. Now, what exactly is digital marketing and digital marketing? Digital marketing is using this web and internet social media especially to market your product and services to the customers. So, naturally it is you have to integrate it with your existing e-business infrastructure. Now, it comes to digital marketing, one integral part of digital marketing and integrating digital marketing in a better way could be your customer relationship management system as well. Because when you relate your digital marketing and tracking the customer behavior etc., with your existing infrastructure, you acquire more data and you get better insights about your marketing operations. Okay. So, about the books etc., if because again before other questions come up, let us again try to look at that book. Somebody wanted to have books. If you wish, I can also provide you the list of books through our forum. but anyway all of them will be what we are covering, it will be much beyond that, because suppose you are I am referring a book on recommender system, it will book all kind of recommender system and it will be a very fat book, and from that I have only picked up a very small idea. So, anyway I can always recommend the books, and you please ask in which particular area you would like to know the name of the book. Hello Rajesh again, hope it is same Rajesh, and I would be happy if course on digital marketing is included in NPTEL. I will also be happy if I get the opportunity to offer the course that one. So, I will anyway pass on this to NPTEL, that if they would like to advertise next time and ask somebody to take a course on digital marketing. Then you also are requesting courses like data analytics and big data etc. It is also a very good suggestion. I will be also be referring your interest to NPTEL officials. Do we have more questions? Okay. Ms. Hemalata, please discuss the exam pattern. You are already are taking many of the assignments, and all of them are MCQ. In the exam also we are also doing MCQ type questions, and in MCQ type of questions in exam we will have 3 category of questions. Few will be 1 marks, few will be 2 marks, and few will be 5 marks questions. For those 5 mark questions specifically you refer, because not towards the end of the course you have many topics on decision support where some calculations etc. will be necessary. So, those calculations etc. you pick up, and your 5 mark questions will be of that, and you will have 21 mark questions comprising of 20 marks, 22 marks question 40 marks, and 4 5 mark questions, that is 20 marks, again 10 2 mark questions.
Like some will be from the assignments.
Okay. Again 2 marks, it has been made 2 categories, because we have been requested to give some of the questions from already existing assignment. So, that will take care of 120 marks. So, 20 mark 20 number of 1 mark question, that is 20 number of 2 mark question not covered in already covered in the assignments, that makes 40, 10 number of 2 marks question already covered in the assignments, that makes 20 marks, then 4 number of 5 mark questions, that makes it 20 marks, that makes total 100 marks. And if you have further any queries, please ask in the forum and we will answer that. Any other question?
Can you upload model question paper?
Can we upload model question paper? I think the model, when we talk about the model question paper, the kind of question that we are asking you in your assignments, weekly assignments, it will be almost of that type, except for those calculation kind of questions. Those calculation, I will ask my TS to direct you to those calculation questions which are already existing in the PPTs. So, I do not think we have to be additionally be giving you the full set of questions. Any other query we are getting? Okay. So, we are right now we are not getting any other query. So, please keep on asking questions. In the meantime, let us try talking about little bit more about this e-business and e-commerce kind of activities, e-commerce kind of topics, and that we are going to cover in subsequent classes. I think you are now running through your 5th week. You are running through your 6th week. Okay. So, in 6th week, in fact, the first 4 weeks were about the strategies and the second and the next 4 weeks are about the technology. So, in the coming week, that is your 6th week, we will be talking about security categories, and will be again making you aware of how why security is necessary, and will try to relate it to your already whatever you have learnt about TCP/IP, and subsequently we will be talking about the stuffs like which is very essential, like your how to digitally sign, what is the meaning of digital signature, and the how to securely communicate your data, how credit card operations are performed. We will be talking about payment systems as well. Okay. So, we have this eternal student means
His name, username.
Okay. Hello eternal student. So, your question is about how to set up e-commerce. To set up any business, first of all you have to have a business idea. E-commerce is no exception. First of all, you have to have the business idea that you are going to implement, followed by the business model. In the very first class, we have talked about the business, the first week we have talked about the business models, various types of business model. You have to have a revenue generation plan. As you know, business is all about delivering value to the customers and in turn generating revenue. Definitely with your business you will be helping the customers, but you have to have a revenue generation plan. Now, next comes, which of course is not part of this course, is you have to register a company, and you have to register, if you are to register a company, probably you have to be taking help of some company secretary. But before that you have to have the business idea and you have to have all your strategies ready. Then you have to register your company. This is of course not a part of this course at all. You have to register your company. After you are registering your company, again depending on the kind of products and services you are dealing with, probably you have to take a number of other permissions. For example, if you are trying to deal with, let us say, grocery kind of items, you should be able to first, you should first try for trade licensing, etc. Again, after your company registration etc. is over, because it is e-commerce, you have to have a website, and a very good website, and that website has to be integrated to many external services. For example, if you are trying to sell something online, you should be connecting to payment gateways, otherwise how will you accept? And besides this e-commerce, see, e-commerce might be your ICT interface to your customers through your e-commerce, but there is a physical process as well. Just imagine, if you are buying something from Amazon, do you think that everything happens online? There is a offline process as well. In fact, I think you have already covered about various kind of distribution channels. You have to be again setting up your distribution channel. Probably you have to be in touch with certain company which specifically deal with supply chains and managing your distribution. So, you have to be, when you are talking about setting up e-commerce, you should be also be considering corresponding physical your brick and mortar business which you will be associating with e-commerce. So, independently setting up e-commerce probably will not be possible. Okay. Any other question?
Yes, if you want to have an ICT interface, what is the basic key things we need to take care? I am just writing.
Okay. So, the next question is, Mr. Singh, if we want to have an ICT interface
For our business,
for your business,
what is the basic key things?
what are the basic key things? Okay. First thing, you should be taking a domain name. Now, selecting a domain name, there are many service providers which gives you these domain names. For example, your godaddy.com. So, you can book a domain name. While booking a domain name, you should be little strategic. Little strategic in the sense the domain name must match with that of your business. So, that whenever, see, if you have your website ready, so also they are, all the businesses have their websites. Now, why should your website be appearing in a search engine, or when the website somebody searches for your kind of business, why your business will appear online in the search results? Unless otherwise you give a take a good domain, probably that is the first step to make your business known to your customer, but that is not the end. After taking the domain name, you have to be hosting your site. So, that hosting services need not be same as that of your domain services. You can host it in certain server, you can take space, you can host your website. Of course, you have to build that website before that. After you host the website, you have to connect that host website with that particular domain name. So, this is about integrating this ICT infrastructure for your customers. Now, next comes your suppliers. So, your while connecting to your suppliers, probably you have to have some kind of mechanism in your website, or if at all you have already existing ERP infrastructure, you have to provide some facility to connect with your suppliers and suppliers. So, now for all your stakeholders, you have to provide such kind of communication, digital communication interface. I think that is something on your question, but if you have to know more, then you can always ask in the forum. I will be happy to answer it. Then next question is by Mr. Sulia. Hello, Mr. Sulia. Your question is, I want to start the online module for high school. Which model I would select? So, I would like to know little bit more clarification about what do you mean by module for high school. Are you planning to have some kind of teaching platform? So, if it is some kind of teaching platform, you can have many and when we talk about the model is basically the revenue generation model. Now, if you are starting any kind of online teaching platform for high school students, let us say, you can provide free teaching, nobody can stop you, but if you are providing free teaching, then you should be able to sustain yourself in the business, and for sustaining yourself in the business, you should be thinking of certain revenue generation model. So, there can be various revenue generation models attached with your stuff. First, do not make it free, accept money module wise, show them some free initial video or lecture material, and if the student is interested, they can register, they can pay and register, then you open other modules. That is number 1. Second, make everything free, and you have adopt some kind of advertisement model, so that people will be, you will be getting some companies to advertise, and that will be your source of revenue. However, the kind of revenue generation models that we have discussed, those are based on certain companies already existing model and existing experience, how revenue can be generated. But in your case, if you can think of some already some very innovative revenue generation model, then it is well and good. Those models are not sacrosanct, you can think of your own model, but these are to start with. I told you about 2. You can show some clips, and maybe you can even think of subscription wise. If somebody is interested for a specific module, he can pay and he can see the module. But paying and looking at them and taking your module, I do not know how far it will be actually acceptable to the user community, because now almost many of the teaching material is actually free. So, why people will be coming to your site to pay, unless otherwise it is very high quality material, why people will be coming and paying and using your material, that you should be thinking. But depending on your kind of business you are thinking, you also associate a revenue model. If you want to discuss in this regard, maybe you can discuss in the forum. We have more? Okay. How to start an online teaching platform for UG courses and what is the minimum cost to start? UG courses and what is the minimum cost to start, that is a question probably for NPTEL people, because most of their courses probably are targeted for UG students. But additionally, if, and probably you can even think of contacting this NPTEL community if they allow you to host some of your courses. But if NPTEL is already doing this, and so also many leading universities, I do not know how far your UG course, offering your UG course will be will get you, besides offering the course can also allow you to generate some revenue. Any more questions? So, questions are right now not coming up. Till more people join, probably we can think of going back and looking at some of the future models that we will be discussing. Now, somebody earlier was asking if we can offer some of the courses on data analytics, big data, digital marketing and so on. So, in that matter, I would like to direct you to the courses which we are offering in the last 4 weeks. For example, in the 9th week, you are going to learn about various decision support models, and to start with, we will be talking about how to use the access log for tracking your customers and understanding their behavior. Now, when it comes to access log, as you go ahead and know more about the e-commerce infrastructure, you will know that when you host any website and users access your website, their access pattern is stored in some text file, and the text file, with every request some log is made into that every request is logged into that website. So, that way, as somebody was asking about the big data, this access log data itself is one source of big data. Continuously people will be coming to your site, every page they access is logged in the access log. So, that data, though typically the last 3 months data your access log will be keeping, but you continuously keep on you continuously store this data, that will give you some petabytes of data. So, that becomes your big data. Now, the techniques associated with it for understanding customer behavior probably requires many models and all. And let me make one thing clear, rather you should be little thinking ahead, that when we are talking about data analytics, big data, or that way digital marketing etc., where data is the source which has to be utilized to get various insights. There is a science behind it. The way we have covered in the course, giving a brief overview is not sufficient to learn in depth about those kind of courses. In fact, you need to have the knowledge of many analytical models in order to use those data, machine learning models and all. Okay. So, next question is from Mr. Anuj Awasthi. Hello Anuj. Your question is, how can we assure about customer footfall for our online or offline business with the help of Google AdWords? Also, which is the best medium for customer conversation? This is what? Least risk of
Market investment.
market investment,
Customer conversion.
customer conversion with least risk of market investment. Okay. Truly, about digital marketing in depth we could not cover in this course, which is of course is not a part of this course, but if you are asking because you are asking, I can give you certain clues. For example, how can we assure about customer footfall for our online or offline business with help of Google AdWord? First of all, you have to be participating in that AdWord auction, and in that AdWord auction, depending on your bid, your advertisement will be shown on the top, before the search result it will be shown. Now, assuring about customers footfall, AdWord can only show, but assuring customer footfall, I do not think AdWord will be able to do that. Probably you have to be you can show your presence to your customer, but probably if you would like to truly increase your customers footfall in your business, you should be integrating other strategies with it. For example, besides showing in Google AdWords, you should be able to design your site in certain manner, so that Google search engine is able to capture your site, because many people have accessed that site. Now, how to bring those many people to access that site, so that your site attracts Google search engine, is also something to be considered. For example, usually these digital marketing support providers, the digital marketing companies, they will be physically employing many users who will be just like that accessing your website very frequently, and if they do so, probably the number of accesses to your site on a particular search query increase, and you will be getting attention of search engine. These are all about search engine optimization. In fact, many of the hosting sites also provide you with certain facilities of search engine optimization, but the major problem with this is, if you are thinking about using some existing search engine optimizer of your hosting facility, it is good, but everybody must be using it. So, additionally you have to have that strategy, and you have to be contacting some of the digital marketing experts regarding this. Okay, then what was the next question? Best medium for customer conversion. With least risk of market investment. Truly, the answer to this is related to the kind of business you are in. and your customer conversion strategy should not be only online. You must have marked many times, because of your online presence in one site, you will be getting requests from other sites. If you add somebody's name in your name and phone number in your mobile, immediately you see him as your within your friend suggestion list in Facebook. So, it is a whole lot of complicated process. Many players are here, and it is not only about digital, it is about the combination of digital and physical. The next question is again from eternal student. When the browsers make tracking disabled by default, then how can we convert browsing user to buyer? No, you cannot do. It is difficult, because browser himself, the customer himself has stopped certain facility. From your side, if you try to enable it, it will not be possible. Next question, I want to do PhD in learning psychology of school students. Is Google form sufficient? Please guide for questionnaire. I am not very expert in this psychology of school students and all, but if you are a psychology expert, probably you can use Google form. Questionnaire, I cannot design questionnaire for you, it is very tough job for me. I am second year UG students, we are trying for a startup. So, what is the important thing to keep in mind for a stable startup? Your business idea should be innovative to have your startup. How do we develop each department within our startup, or should we take up help from other corporations? Startup is a very small team, and you require, if you do not have any investor, probably in the first go you cannot start up, you cannot think of trying to expand. In fact, this is beyond this course, how to have a startup and what are various facilities, it is beyond this course. But when it comes to startup, one thing I have observed with the people who are having startup is the lack of funding. People start with great enthusiasm, but to keep your enthusiasm going, you need money, and that money you cannot generate because you are just starting with the idea. So, to make that idea realizable, you have to be presenting your idea to in various forums, and where the investors will be investors come and look for new ideas, and if your idea can attract the attract some investor, then probably he will be able to support you. But anyway, I am not expert in this area. This is from my experience with people who are dealing with startups I am sharing, but this is not anyway part of this course. Anything else? So, my time is for 1 hour. So, I will keep the conversation going, and as somebody was asking about knowing about your digital footfall etc., one of the way is through your access log. Through your access log, and this is how you will be knowing what kind of, if you include, let us say let us say some facilities, specifically Google, we are talking about Google Analytics. If you provide this kind of script within each of your page, whosoever is coming to your site can be tracked by Google, and you will also be getting the overall statistics from which area they are coming, I mean the what pages they are looking at, what is their in which sequence they are accessing your pages, and so on. But however, all these topics, they are quite technical in nature and require a lot of in depth technical analysis. So, we have a topic on this. So, besides that we are also going to, because how do I press this, is how do I say escape. Okay. So, we can also, we will also be talking about, as I was telling you, we will also be talking about customer behavior analysis, for which we will be discussing about various models. We will be talking about, this is what I was trying to tell you, we will also be talking about recommender systems. Okay. And here recommender systems are, of course, are there everywhere. In almost all e-commerce sites you go, you get recommendations, but what goes behind those recommendations in a very simple manner are explained here. However, again I tell you, this is not enough. This is just demonstration of a very simpler idea what might be happening behind. For example, we have discussed a case study on Amazon, but let me be telling you that these are just some initial ideas given to you, initial directions shown to you. On each of this topic, you can actually keep on exploring more and more, and you should be able to develop yourself. Any question?
How to integrate this technology support startup with e-business?
So, our startup is sorry, our startup is on providing technological support. What kind of technological support? I am engineering student, how to integrate with e-business support. First of all, we have to know that what kind of technological support you would like to provide and to whom. Who are your customers for whom you would like to provide your technological support, and unless otherwise we know what is the kind of technological support, how can we tell about how to integrate with e-business support. Maybe you can be little specific later, and if you are telling right now, it is okay. Otherwise, we can always discuss in our forum.
Asking about NPTEL internship.
NPTEL internship.
Yes, I know that.
Okay, some Sai Dhiraj is asking, please tell us about NPTEL internship. I do not have any idea on NPTEL. Does NPTEL provide an internship at all? I do not have much idea about it, but maybe I can pass on your query to NPTEL people, and you can be directly communicating with them about internship. And if you have to it is just NPTEL is just a platform for reaching out to a larger group of students. I do not know if they are providing any kind of internship facility. Probably NPTEL here in IIT Kharagpur is being hosted in our Center for Educational Technology. Probably they in the Center for Educational Technology you might be searching for some internship, but I do not have much idea. How can you get our
first job through this course?
How can we get our first job through this course? Can we get internship by doing this course? It depends on what kind of job and what kind of internship you are looking at, but getting a job by doing only one course is not enough. But if you are already have acquired some other skill, along with this you are taking this course, probably you are through. Now, how can we get internship by doing this course? You have overall ideas, and then if you would like to, suppose you are a management student, then looking at the kind of business models etc., we have discussed, and you can take internship in a startup, and you can make them aware of the kind of business model they should adopt and so on. Or if you are a computer science student and you would like to take internship related to this course, probably you have to be taking more courses on machine learning itself etc., and you know that for example, just now we were talking about recommender system. A recommender system, if you take some machine learning courses and do know more about little bit about recommender system, probably you can think of getting internship in this area. Okay, Mr. Anuj Avasthi, again welcome back. I want to start health food business for kid, but without any physical shop other than kitchen. We want to promote it purely through e-business. How can I start? You want to start with health food business for kid, but without any physical shop. You need not have a physical shop, you have only online interface, and through that you can take order. Probably you are thinking of something like sending just like the dabbawalas do, prepare food at home, then send to prepare and why kids then? You can give healthy food to everybody, just like the dabbawalas do. Probably you can have just online presence and take orders, but online, through online platform definitely you are not going to deliver, right. So, you will be taking you will be reaching out your customers through your website and taking the orders through the website and physically delivering and probably taking the payment online. So, that could be the model. Now, again reaching out to the customer with this kind of business, you have to be otherwise letting your customer know through some marketing medium that you do exist. Otherwise, it is not possible. People must know that you exist, otherwise simply having a website or planning a kitchen etc., is not going to work. Question is?
The market is reaching saturation,
Mm-hmm.
and all these services are getting acquired by major companies and many startups. So, is e-business going to be tough, and how do you see it evolving?
Oh no, you are actually completely wrong about e-business. E-business is about every business. making any business IT enabled is actually business. So, it is not an independent kind of business, and if you are thinking about e-commerce and you are thinking e-commerce is only business, that also you can see many e-commerce companies are surviving, and getting companies. What was the question? Can you please read it again?
It is from Ved Prakash. Considering the saturation of market with almost all kinds of startup and each major.
No, never have any kind of negative attitude. Market is never saturated. Do you think that when Amazon started, people were thinking it will survive? But it survived, and it survived even through .com boom and bust, those kind of phases it has survived. So, you should never give up. Actually, what matters is a good business idea, and thinking that market is getting saturated, in that case the world will never progress. If people will always think that things has already happened, I have nothing to do, no, then the world will never progress. But the world is progressing every day. How it is happening? It is happening because somebody or other is coming with some innovative idea. So, innovation is the key. You have to innovate. Never think that market is saturated. Okay? And about your companies getting acquired, no harm at all. If you are in one business, you are successful as a startup, and if your company is acquired by a bigger company, absolutely no harm. You end up getting huge amount of money, which you can again reinvest in your much better idea, and again that startup, let it be acquired by a bigger company, you come up with more money. It is all about being positive and innovative. Anything? Okay, so we are not getting more questions, still we have 10 minutes. We can think of something else from our future topics, and the very last week we will be talking about online auctions.
Asking what is e-business?
Amit
Solanki.
Amit Solanki, Mr. Solanki, good evening. You are asking what is e-business? It is a very fundamental question which we have discussed probably in the very first class. It is about, in fact, while answering somebody's question also I give a very naive example. It is about making any company ICT empowered with information and communication technology. Now, various facets of the business can be automated or at least semi automated. Semi automated using information and communication technology. Again another question, Rajesh Kumar, I think we have already welcomed him. Rajesh Kumar, it is same Rajesh Kumar. Hello Rajesh, once again we are getting, this is the third question from you. Can we integrate AI with e-business? Of course, AI is about learning and using that learning to do something. With huge amount of data that you generate through your e-business transactions can be used along with machine learning approaches, and make your business enriched with intelligence. So, AI definitely can be used with within the companies who are already ICT enabled using e-business. Anything else? So, those things, those we are talking in terms of decision support, and we will be talking it at a little later stage after we talk about about the technology. Technology will be for next 4 classes, technology you will have, and after that we will be talking about various decision support systems, where we are talking about this the kind of customer behavior modeling using access log data. We will be talking about recommender system, and we will be talking about online auctions. Anuj, no, acha, this is okay. Mr. Ved Prakash, acha, thank you for motivating and insightful thoughts. Thank you very much for being motivated, and keep being motivated. He is the person who wanted to have
that saturation market.
saturation. Okay, so you are the student thinking about market saturation. Never think, always think positive. Things will come up. Think innovative from your day to day life. Think what do you need, what do people need, and based on the need only you can think of doing some innovation, isn't it? Okay, I think we should wind up.
Last question, does e-business have norms? Which norms we must follow?
Okay, e-business have norms, and which norm you must follow? As okay, Mr. Vechang Sulia again. Okay, welcome back, Mr. Sulia. So now the question is,
does e-business have norms?
Norms. E-business is not independent of any. It cannot have independent existence without a background business idea. And if you have a background business idea, as I was answering somebody, you must be having a company, and if you have a company, all the rules and regulations for the companies are to be followed. Besides that, if you are in the you are using ICT and technology, information and communication technology, there are Government of India guidelines which you have to follow for various activities, so that somebody's privacy is not compromised, then payment is made in proper format. If you are going to take any digital certificate, probably you will be going to the agency which is certified by government, and so on. So, there will be in fact, if you would like to know more about this ICT rules and regulation in India, probably you should be knowing little bit about Information and Communication Technology Act of Government of India. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Thank you very much. And probably if you have any question, if you have any further question, you can always come in our discussion forum. We will be happy to answer your questions, and probably we will have 2 more live sessions as NPTEL has instructed us, and you only suggest when we are going to have the live session. Thank you very much.